Well, it looks like we're going to be getting additional DLC to MK1, and I guess the DLC pack we're supposed to be getting is going to be called the Chaos Reigns expansion, and apparently we're getting some old school characters that's going to be making returns, and they're supposed to be having stories, and we're going to see the returning characters like Cyrax, Sector, and Noob Saibot. Um, Characters that debuted in both Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 back in the 90s. And honestly, the three characters I just mentioned should have been the base version of MK1. And that's probably one of the reasons why the game never sold as much as it could have, because people realized that there could have been more characters, especially considering the fact that um, Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios has decided to reset everything in relation to the story and do an alternate timeline. And honestly, I think this is something that can draw more interest to MK1, because obviously the game didn't sell nearly as much as Warner Brother Games had hoped it had. And honestly, I have no idea whether or not we're going to be getting a sequel, because Warner Brothers wants to cut their gaming division and all that. But apparently the Chaos Reigns DLC is rumored to reintroduce like quick time events, and I think that's something that I guess will add a little bit more realism to MK1. And I think gameplay wise, that's an improvement over everything that we got to see in MK11. And I believe this expansion is supposed to be available on September 24th. And I think there was some gameplay footage of Noob Saibot in MK1 online. It's something that looked dope. I mean, the character design looks better than that of, I'd say, MK9. And honestly, I feel like this version of him might stand out a little bit more, because I know the MK9 version of him stood out, especially considering the fact that whoever did the voice acting for Noob Saibot and MK9 sounded a lot like Dr. Claw, which I actually thought was kind of funny, but I digress. The MK1 Chaos Reigns expansion, I feel like, is going to be the one of many other expansions that we're going to get a little bit later down the line. And the thing is, like, ever since like this game was released, like in like a year ago, I believe it came out like in September of last year. It sold like 3 mil, and since then I haven't heard any reports about it selling any more than it did. And I think Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios are doing everything they can to try and drive interest to MK1. And I honestly feel like, for the most part, the reason why the sales have been that good is because there was a lot of stuff that should have been the original game that wasn't there, and I think they're giving it to everybody bit by bit through expansion packs. And unfortunately, that's just an annoying trend that exists in gaming. And I feel like it's something that's going to continue. But yeah, I think MK1 is going to be a little bit more exciting. And I do feel that this is something that's definitely going to it's going to, I guess, draw more lapsed fans of the MK series, especially those who decided to not pay attention to anything after MK10 or MK11. And honestly, I don't think having this DLC is going to make a significant difference in relation to like sales, like right off the bat. But I feel like over time it'll probably reach like 4 mil, 5 mil, 6 mil, what have you, because I think it took a while for MK11 to do those numbers after it came out. And yeah, I mean, the fighting genre in general, even though it was popular during the teens, or we saw a bit of a resurgence during the teens decade, it seems like this decade is it's kind of been rough for like fighting games in general. Like Street Fighter 6, only did like 3 mil or whatever. It could have definitely have sold more, but Capcom's doing the same thing in terms of adding DLC characters bit by bit instead of including them in the base game. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more cool characters later down the line. But right now, everybody's looking forward to the Chaos Reigns expansion that's supposed to be coming out on September 24th.